So this is going to be like my second video on the Celtics in about 2 weeks. Just a few hours ago, the Celtics just destroyed the Golden State Warriors in Boston, advancing their record to 48-12 and also 29-3 at home. And I'm going to be honest, I watched the first quarter, zoned out a bit. By the time I came back, I saw the score was 82-38 at halftime, and I thought there was a typo on the board. This team has been absolutely dominant since the beginning of the season, and from the looks of it, it looks like this team could actually reach 70 wins by the end of the season. And I'm not saying 100% that they'll do it, but judging by their trajectory, it is very, very likely to end up happening. And they're starting to enter this territory where we'd have to consider them from a regular season standpoint one of the most dominant teams of the last 20 years. Yes, from the way things are looking, they should be able to finish the season just inches away from being in that same tier as the 2016 Warriors and the 1996 Bulls. Let's put it in perspective, right? The most wins ever by a team in the NBA is obviously Golden State with 73, and then we have Chicago with 72, and then after that 1997, it was Chicago again with 69 wins. So yes, it's a major possibility that they finish at least at third all time in regular season wins. And by default, if that's the case, then you would have to consider them as maybe the second best regular season team of the last 2 decades, right behind Golden State in 2016. And whether they bring home a championship or not, when you're playing 2K like 5 years down the road from now, this Celtics team is for sure going to end up being like one of those all-time classic teams. So Boston right now is having a moment. This is the first time in years where they look like the clear-cut favorite, not just to win the East, but to win it all. And never have we ever seen this team, especially in the Tatum and Brown era, look this dominant. There's the elite two-way play. They're not only one of the best offensive teams in the league, but obviously they're one of the best defensive groups as well. Then there is this amazing all-around production. What you have to love, as I mentioned before, are the well-balanced contributions of their role players like Derrick White, like Jrue Holiday, who's been absolutely lights out from three, shooting it at a career-high percentage. When Porzingis has been healthy, he's been flat-out amazing and could have been an all-star this year if it wasn't for the missed games. Al Horford, Peyton Pritchard, and Sam Hauser have been amazing contributors off the bench as well. And then there's Joe Mazzulla. Last season, after the playoffs, every Celtics fan you could find seemed to hate him, but now you'd absolutely have to give him the Coach of the Year award. And then there's Jayson Tatum, who should have a lot more MVP buzz than he's already getting. Sure, he's not putting up 30 a game, and he's not a triple-double machine like other guys in the conversation, but being the best player on such a dominant team should make you at least top 3 on most people's MVP lists. Now, I know this is still a championship or bust year for Boston, given how things have gone for them over the last few years, and some people may not be as excited about their regular season success as I am. But two things can be true at once. Yes, this team has to make all of this translatable to the playoffs, given how things have gone over them the last few years. But also at the same time, I think we can still proudly applaud how they've been playing this season. It looks like a perfect response to their critics after their East Finals loss last season. And personally, I am very confident in this team's ability to get to the finals. No disrespect to the rest of the East, but I think it's going to be very tough to knock this team out before June. And if you watch my other videos, you may think I'm being inconsistent, but after today, I am convinced that this Celtics team is the clear-cut favorite to take the East. Not only are they extremely talented and stacked roster-wise, but they are as hungry as ever. This is a team who knows what's on the line this season, and they're putting it all out there on the court night in and night out. So now the question is, for one, how long can they keep this 11-game win streak going? And then will all of this be enough to get them to the biggest stage again in June? My answer to that second question is yes.